Hey there you guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do a little update on the plants that I imported from Asean plant export from Thailand. And yeah, it's been about a month and a half since I received them, I believe. I think the shipment came in on June 4th and it's now the middle of July. So not a lot's happening, but I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update because some things have died back. I'll give you a little bit of a story. When I unwrapped the roots of some of the plants, there was no roots. So I think that they were a little bit too moist, and then they ended up rotting out. So I'll show you that as well. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's check out these little plants. Some of them are starting to grow. Some of them are not yet, but it's only been a month and a half. So anyway, let's check it out. Okay, so not a lot is happening over here. I didn't end up transplanting or taking cuttings from this Dischidia ovata, but some of them are still looking okay. These leaves are looking pretty good, but all in all, it's looking pretty sad. As a plant, it's looking pretty sad. This is the David Cummingii. And it's looking okay. It still looks the same. There's not much happening with that one. This one here, what was this one? This one was the one that had the really shriveled leaves. I'll put the name for this one down below. I can't read that at the moment. Manipurensis or something like that. It has the heart-shaped leaves, kind of like the carrii, but in miniature, as you can see there. And this one had quite wrinkly leaves in the beginning, and they've seemed to have flattened themselves out. They're a little hydrated now. They're much more hydrated, actually. And these two leaves here are new. So, and I lost a leaf there. I was expecting to lose a leaf or two just because of the amount of shrivel that was happening, but I'm so happy that that the plant itself is doing okay. I just watered these yesterday. I've been keeping these things on the dry side, but I've been ignoring the grow space because I've been outside. That's the problem with the grow space during the summertime. I'm not down here very often. I really am trying to come down once in the morning to reload the humidifier for my hospital tank. But other than that, I don't really pay attention to the other plants. Most of them go outside for the summer. So this one here is the Lacanosa silver. Look at those leaves. They're so silver. This one and this one here, I believe, are new, and maybe the bigger one behind that small one might be new as well. So this one here is looking really, really good. The silver is really showing up on there. Where's the other Lacanosa? I have another Lacanosa here. Over in the other side. So we'll check out the other Lacanosa in a second. This here has not. It looks like it might be starting to sprout something by my thumb. You can see right here by my finger. Is it going to focus in? Let's pull it away a bit. There's a little bit of a nubbin maybe starting to grow here. What is this one? This one is the Megalaster. So it might be starting to grow soon. This one here, I was really worried about this one. What's this one here? Elliptica Philippine. This one had such a thin leaf, it was really dehydrated. So it's rehydrated itself and it's not looking so bad. And fingers crossed that it continues to do okay. I just need to really worry about overwatering. But again, I watered these yesterday, so they're on the moist side now. And I will let them dry out completely between my waterings. And then this is the Pachyclada. It hasn't done anything since coming here. I might move this particular one outside for the summer very, very soon, just because I find that these really thick guys like a lot more light. I wanted to keep it kind of in a dimly lit spot under the grow lights while they acclimated. I didn't want to stress it out by putting it out into the harsh summer weather. So let's go over to this little pot here. This here is the other Lacanosa. This is the heartleaf Lacanosa. And let's put the silver next to it. You can really see the difference in the leaves between this guy and this one. The silver is so beautiful. I can't wait to see how that one grows in time. And the Lacanosa heartleaf has not really done any growth since it arrived. Return these to normal. One that I'm worried about here is the Sansevieria pinguicula. As you might be able to see here, the central growth point here, as I reframe, I'm holding the camera. I should have it on a tripod. The growth point here has died out, so I'm hoping that it will produce some offsets. That will be the saving grace. So I'm really trying to be careful not to overwater it. When I water everything else, I tend not to water this one, but this one was really, really dry. So I gave it a drink this time. And fingers crossed. This one will probably go outside very, very soon, just to get some sun and hopefully charge it up. Yeah, it didn't have much roots on it when it came in, as you could probably remember. This one here, this Sangii, Hoya Sangii, it's got some beautiful new leaves. Let me bring it over here. Look at the beautiful color on that. I love that coppery color on the new leaf. Hopefully it's coming into focus. Hopefully I'm not too close. And it looks actually like it's trying to do a peduncle. This is a little peduncle, I think, starting to grow. But hopefully that's not the case. I don't want it to flower too soon because I don't want it to use up its energy on that. I want it to produce roots. I want it to produce new leaves. As much as flowers are the goal in the long run, I want the plant to be healthy instead first. And then here we have another Sangii. This one isn't doing any growth yet, but the leaves are looking really, really good. I really like the lighter green center, and then as it goes out towards the leaf edge, it gets darker. So it has like that little dark, kind of a red-green hue to it, and I think that that's really special. What's this one here? This one is the Lobii, the dark red form, and the leaves on it are nice and firm again. There was a lot of Hoyas that had a very thin leaf. And then this one I'm really excited about. I wasn't sure if it would grow because the stem here had dried up. This is the Imbricata. And look at the new growth that's starting on this guy. Oh, there is the new growth on the Imbricata. I need to get it a pole very, very soon so that the new leaves have something to rest against. So I'm super excited about the Imbricata. And the Sansevierias aren't doing very much. I believe this one is the Kirkii green, or blue, sorry. The blue form. And then this one is the Kirkii copper tone. And they're Sansevierias, so they don't really do anything. So there's not much to report on those guys. And then here is the Painted Lady. It's doing pretty good. I've gotten this leaf since it came into my care, and I've been really trying to be mindful of the watering of the philodendrons. It's been a really slippery slope for me, as I've mentioned to you guys. I guess I'm an overwaterer. I would have thought I was an underwaterer, but I guess I'm keeping things too moist. So I'm really trying to let the leaves tell me when to water. I'm waiting for them to feel a little bit more limp and maybe just sag a little bit, not to completely wilt and lose its shape, but just kind of feeling my way through it. And then I just watered this today because it was quite dry. Yesterday it was quite turgid. The leaves were standing up nicely. This morning when I came to the grow room, it was looking a little bit more limp. So I gave it a quick drink with some liquid dirt, and hopefully it appreciates that and bounces back in the next couple of hours. So also we have some plants in my little hospital tank, so let's go over and check that out. I'll pull them out, but let's just check out the tank itself. So this is my tall hospital tank. It used to be an aquarium, converted into a little mini greenhouse. And I've got some LED lights that are over top. These are on timers, they're on 12-hour timers, as well as it gets the ambient light from the other grow lights. So it gets decent light, not overly crazy. And this is where I put my my sick plants that need to be recuperated. And now well, like I said, I'm trying to keep things on the dry side, but I'm trying to keep the humidity up. So with this thing in here, it gets to be about 90% humidity when it's running, maybe 99% humidity when it's running. And then I let it stay off for a day or so, and then it goes down to about 70%. And it's just an up and down of the humidity, because I don't want them to stand with water on them 100% of the time. They need to have the airflow, which this is always open to the air. So there is airflow that gets in there, but I just want the humidity or the beads of water to dry up a little bit so that we don't get fungal problems. So anyway, let's pull these out and we'll take a look and see how they're doing. Some of them are doing better than others. Okay, so first off, we've got the Subheast Atom. This guy here has a beautiful red underside on the leaf. This guy here supposedly can tolerate a much shadier environment just because of the red underside. I guess it helps collect light in lower light areas. And so I only ordered one plant from Asean, but they sent me 4 stem cuttings. So I ended up making 2 pots out of this because I wanted to experiment with 2 different growing conditions when they actually start to grow. I want to maybe give one lower light, one of them higher light. I want to see how they do. And also I want to experiment with watering. The soil that I'm using for these guys is mostly an orchid bark. I've got a little bit of sphagnum moss in there. There's some soil, some peat-based potting soil, as well as extra perlite. As you can see, it's a pretty chunky mix. This one hasn't produced any new leaves just yet, but it's on its way. It's still looking okay. It's getting almost 100% humidity in the tank at the moment, like I said, but when the humidifier stops, it drops down to about 70, maybe 70%. So it's pretty good. Again, letting it dry out between waterings pretty well. The leaves don't have a chance to wilt. I do water it. This last time I watered it really, really well, which maybe I shouldn't have. Lately I've just been just giving them a splash of water just to humidify the roots, but this was a good watering this time. So this one here has developed a new leaf, so I'm hopeful that the root system is starting to develop. So fingers crossed that it is on its way to growth town. And again, here's a cutting here that doesn't have any leaves on it, but hopefully it will start to develop leaves very, very soon. The next one here that we'll look at is the Trubii, the Scindapsus trubii. The leaves on this one aren't doing so great. I think I ordered 2 plants, but I got 3 cuttings in here. This one has a little bit of a green stem here by my finger, and it looks like there's where the leaf node is, it's looking like it's starting to plump up, like it's going to start to put out a growth there. And then I've got a little growth developing here. As you remember, the plant itself, the leaves were mostly yellow, but the stems were still green, so I was worried that I'd end up killing this plant because it was under too much stress from the shipment. But it might end up coming back. As you can see here against... Oh, I got the tag in the way. Let's move this tag. That's against my finger. You could probably see the growth starting. So fingers crossed. Again, keeping this on the dry side, watering it really, really well. Well, not really, really well. I've been trying to splash it with water. This past watering, I decided to give it a good run through with water. But in the last couple of waterings, it's just been a splash. I'm trying to keep it humid and not overly wet in the pot at the moment, as it's trying to develop some roots. And then next, we've got the Philodendron gigas. It's not doing too bad. It's not doing too great either. I'm really keeping this one on the dry side. From my research, it's a tough cookie, and it actually wants to be more on the dry side than the moist side. So this one, I'm keeping it more humid than watering the soil. So this one is right beside the humidifier in the tank, And when I do water it, I just give it a little bit of water just around the edge, almost like I'm watering a cactus. But I want to see more development in the growth, maybe some root development in the soil before I really start to change the care. I don't want to rot it out. So this is the Gigas. Again, this is a new leaf. The other leaves further down had yellowed off, but it's doing okay. So fingers crossed. If you have any tips on any of these plants, if I'm doing something incorrectly, please let me know, and I'll see what I could do about switching things up. But I just wanted to try this out. And then these are the Syngoniums. They're Pink Dream. I think I was calling them Pink Splash, but they're Pink Dream. These ones, when I opened them up, the roots were all rotted off. Absolutely no roots left. So I put them in this in their little tiny pots. I think these are like 2-inch pots, clay pots, so they dry up really, really fast. And I'm trying to leave them on the humid side. Like I said, I watered them well yesterday, so they're looking a little bit moist. But this one still has some green growth here on the stem by my thumb, just a little bit by my thumb. So fingers crossed that this one actually decides to start to grow. I ordered one plant, but I got two, but both of them are in the same boat. This one is not showing any signs of green at the base, but I'm still hopeful that there's some development happening under the soil surface. So that's how the shipment from Asean is doing. Some things are doing better than others. I'm very excited to see the new growth that I'm receiving. Again, it's only been a month and a half. It's still a long journey to get really big plants. I bought these things as small plants anyway, knowing that it would take time for them to develop into mature specimens. So hopefully I don't have to wait 10 years before they're big, beautiful plants, but we'll see. We'll see how they go. We'll update you on these guys later on. Maybe it'll just be in like a Hoya update or a Sansevieria update or a Philodendron update or something like that. But maybe one more Asean shipment. As long as they're together and I know which ones came from there, or I remember, then maybe we can have a group update. But if I end up moving them in with the rest of my collection, it makes it really hard. So my memory isn't what it used to be. So anyway, show me what you're growing. I'd love to see what's doing well in your collection. I'd love to see just garden pictures. Post them to the Plants and Things What's Growing page. Tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see them. And until next time, you guys, happy growing!